Alrighty folks, thanks for clicking on this video. James Cards FC here. If you're new to the channel, I talk about the financial side of the soccer card market, and today I'm happy to be back and I'm happy to be talking about pre-modern legends that are seeing their cards really explode in value, but it's not actually their rookie cards or the cards you probably think would be exploding in value for these guys. So I'm going to talk about that a bit today, but before I get started, I wanted to say thank you for all the support recently. We're about to cross 1,500 subscribers, 1,500 subs is really cool for such a niche market, the soccer card market, and somebody that makes videos doing PowerPoint presentations talking about the financial side of the market. Not really a number I really thought I would get to, especially not so quickly, only a year or so about of doing this, but I thank you guys so much for that, and for the 1,500 subscriber video that I'll have coming out. I want to do another Q&A, so feel free to leave questions either in the description of this video or DMs on Instagram, that sort of thing. 1,500 subscriber Q&A will be the next video on the channel, and thank you guys so much for the support. But without further ado, let's talk about these pre-modern legends and their cards that have been exploding in price recently. So let's start off, as always, with the introduction. While key pre-modern players have seen their markets slide over the past 2 years, some recent sales of these guys have been bucking the trend. The biggest examples are Ronaldo and Zidane, who we'll be focusing on in this video, who are for the first time making appearances in ultra-modern product in the 2022/2023 release season. Both of these players also have sticker autos that have sold north of $1,000 depending on the serial numbering, and even some non-auto serial numbered cards are putting up impressive results. As you can see here on the right hand side of the screen, I have this blue Prism that is numbered out of 49 for Ronaldo R9 that sold recently for $421. This does not come from a Prism set, it comes from the most recent Chronicles set that includes cards from Serie A as well as La Liga and Premier League, so it's not a Prism specific set, but it does have Prism cards in it, and Ronaldo is in the checklist, so he receives Prism cards and Prism numbered cards for the first time for him. But it's not just ultra-modern serial numbered cards that are exploding for these players in price. Pre-modern numbered cards of Ronaldo and Zidane are also achieving record high prices years after their rookie stickers peaked and then crashed in value. So today I wanted to examine what's been going on in their markets and give my thoughts as to where we might be headed with all of these new and old cards for them. So let's set the stage with rookie prices. So before discussing their recent card sales, I wanted to review the trajectory of their prices on their rookie stickers, which should, based on sports card history, be the biggest keys in their market. And Ronaldo and Zidane in particular have rookie stickers that aren't exactly very high pop. Both of them are in the population of between, I think, 100 and 150 on both of them. So they're not obscenely rare, but they're also not super high pop either. So Ronaldo, 1994 Panini Vote Ball PSA 8. I'm using the typical headshot rookie. He also has a foil action shot rookie and a couple other releases, but this is the main one that people look towards because it's the traditional headshot and it's from the Panini Netherlands set. So in PSA 8 condition in 2021, this was around a $5,000 sticker, and it is dropped in price in 2022. It was around half that at $2,500, and it most recently sold in December of 22 for around $2,100. And if it came to the market again today, it's probably somewhere again in that $1,500 to $2,100 range. And a PSA 8 is a pop 10 with just 17 graded higher. And then for the mid-grade in the PSA 4 of this Vote Ball sticker, it started in 2021 at around $900. In 2022, it sold again for the same $900 mark, but more recently, it's been selling around $384 in PSA 4 condition. It is a population of 30 with 105 graded higher. So like I said, there aren't a ton of these out there, but they are available. In the higher grades like PSA 8, PSA 9, or PSA 10, it can be really hard to find these come to auction, but in the mid-grades, they sort of come up once every few months or so. Alrighty, then we'll talk about Zidane really quickly here. We have his PSA 8 of his 1991 Panini Foot sticker. He doesn't have any other 1991 releases, so it's really cut and dry as to what his key rookie is. I've talked about it in previous videos, but yes, this is the key rookie for Zidane. In 2020, in PSA 8 condition, it cost around $9,000. Then the following year in 2022, or 2 following years, I guess, it dropped to around $8,000, and it most recently sold for around $6,600. In PSA PSA 8 condition, it is a pop 16 with 6 graded higher, and it's seen about a 30% drop in price compared to the Ronaldo, which saw a little bit over a 50% drop in price. And then if we go to the mid-grade in PSA 4 condition, in 2021 it sold for around $3,000, in 2022 sold for $2,000, and then in 2023 most recently sold for around $1,500. So there's that 50%-ish drop in the mid-grade. It is a population of 13, and there are 65 graded higher. And then in the PSA 8, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but it is pop 16 with 6 graded higher. So this is a pretty rare sticker, at least from what we understand about the pre-modern market, and there aren't a lot of these raw out there right now, at least that we know of that we can find on the market. So again, both of these are pretty low pop in terms of pre-modern stickers. Then we'll move forward into the ultra-modern appearances and their prices. So prior to the 2022/2023 release season, Ronaldo and Zidane were both mostly absent from ultra-modern product releases. They weren't in Prism sets, they weren't in Chrome sets, they weren't in Finest sets, they weren't in any of those super popular sets, but that has all changed this year. Ultramodern Checklist had focused previously on active players and rookies, but with Checklist needing to expand in order for the companies to print more product, more and more retired players have been appearing in the checklist. So rather than Topps or Panini make a bunch of more rookies on the checklist, they've started adding more legendary players or non-active players to the checklist instead, so they can continue to print more product. Now, both of these players are now in nearly every Topps and Panini product release in 2022/2023 with serial numbered cards, insert cards, auto cards, etc. You name it. They're in a bunch of different subsets, a bunch of different primary sets, and a bunch of different auto sets. So no matter which ultramodern product you're looking at for the 2022/2023 release season, you're probably going to see these guys in it in a different variety of cards. Now, these cards have come out of the gate very hot, and they've been attracting some big sales numbers and a lot of hype on social media. So I just wanted to cover these few sales that I know about in a little bit of detail, but like I said, these are still hot off the press, so a lot of these prices are still getting sold and they're going to correct over time. But as of right now, here are some prices that have sold in the past week or so. So we'll start with the Ronaldo on the far left-hand side. It is serial numbered at 49. I talked about this one before. It's a blue Prism numbered at a 49, sold for $420. That is around the same price as a PSA 4 rookie sticker. He also had this serial numbered 1/1 Select La Liga card. It's a black 1/1 with a sticker auto, sold for $4,800, which would be around the price of a PSA 9 rookie these days. So very impressive sale right there for Ronaldo. And then for Zidane, I picked this 2022/2023 Topps Chrome Orange Auto, numbered out of 25. It is a sticker auto from Topps Chrome. It sold for $1,425, which is around the same price as a PSA 4 rookie sticker for Zidane. And then in terms of his Prism cards, he's in the same set as Ronaldo, so he has the same sort of Prism cards that Ronaldo does. This one is serial numbered out of 23, and it is currently on auction in China. It is at $415 and climbing with 2 or 3 days left, so I imagine this sells north of $500 or so. So lots of impressive sales for these guys, especially when you compare them to the sales that their rookies are seeing. But in any event, those are what the sales are currently. I wanted to give a quick bear versus bull takes on these guys and their cards. So let me try and give you the bear and bull takes for these ultramodern cards for Ronaldo and Zidane. And these points could be applied to any pre-modern player that has been or will be added eventually to ultramodern product cards. So on the bull take side, in favor of these cards, you would say things like first appearances in key ultramodern sets could be a strong narrative going forward, especially since they don't have any or many numbered cards from their own era. The eye appeal is better on these cards than their pre-modern era cards. Ultramodern obviously has really nice looking cards, and I'm not going to lie, that Ronaldo with the Intraman kit and the blue background is probably one of his most aesthetically appealing cards that has ever been released, in my opinion. I love to add this to my collection, but nowhere near the prices that they're currently going for. And then in the third point here, you don't have to worry about fakes like with rookie stickers. So with a card like that Ronaldo, it's very hard to fake, and it's serial numbered. So if it gets graded and you see where the serial number is graded, it's just a lot harder to go ahead and fake something like that, unlike with the rookie stickers. It's been well documented the issues that those are having, and we would hope that in the future PSA, Beckett, SGC, and the grading companies come up with a solution so that they're 100% certain of when they're grading a fake versus a real one. But currently that's just not the reality we're living in, so you need to do additional research on top of what you see in the slabs at this point for those stickers. Now, on the bull side, if you're not in favor of these cards right now, you would be saying things like newly released Ultramodern singles almost always reach their peak pricing on release week and struggle holding value thereafter. These newer cards are 30 years after their rookies and over a decade after their playing careers, which is not historically great for cards. Usually, you split players' cards markets, at least in other sports, into two different markets. You have a active playing career market, and those cards have a massive premium over anything that comes out after their playing career is over. But maybe in soccer that ends up being different, just because there weren't a lot of cards created during most of these players' primes, especially in the pre-modern and vintage era. But know that in other sports card markets, non-active cards, except for very few, what's the word I'm looking for? Exceptions exist. Like gold prisms out of 10 still sell for really high numbers if the player is Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, those kind of guys, Michael Jordan, if he had them, LeBron James, even in his later career, gold prisms sell for a lot of money. But other stuff like cards numbered out of 200, sticker autos, things like that, don't usually command huge premiums for non-active players. Third point would be there can always be nicer, better, and more limited cards released in the future. So the fact that Ronaldo and Zidane are appearing in sets this year means they're probably going to be appearing in sets every year following, which means they'll have kaboom cards, some even better looking cards, case hit cards, lower numbered cards, one-of-ones every season, sticker autos, non-sticker autos, on-card autos, patches. They will do literally everything with these guys going forward. At least that's what we would expect now that the floodgates are sort of open for them. And then the fourth point, we don't know if any of these sets will be significant. For example, like I said, this Ronaldo comes from a Chronicles set. It's like the 5th or 6th year that Chronicles has come out as a product. It's not the most mainstream product that people really hope for every year. So is it possible that this card receives significance just because it's Ronaldo's first Prism card that happens to fall in the Chronicles set? I have no idea, but normally we want to be targeting cards that are from historically significant sets or sets with lineage, because at least in the other sports cards markets, that's what really helps cards hold value over time, is the fact that you have people really going for the historically significant stuff. And the fact that they just came out means we have no idea what the historical significance will end up being for these cards. Alrighty, and then quickly I wanted to also go over the pre-modern numbered cards. I'm not sure how many people have been following this market, but over the past month or so, things have gotten a little crazy on these. The 1998 and 1999 Merlin Serie A sets, if you're not aware, had a release in Japan that included serial numbered ruby and insert cards out of 99. And then in the 1999 version of the set, there's also Platinum, I think it's called, one-of-ones, but they're just in that one set and they're just one-of-ones, so finding them is going to be almost impossible. There was a Ronaldo R9 that sold for like $14,000 or $16,000 recently, so that helped create a lot of buzz for the one-of-ones, but the odds of them showing up on the market are pretty slim just because of that. But talking about these checklists in particular, they include many pre-modern legends, including Ronaldo and Zidane. There's a bunch of other guys. If you know about pre-modern and you know the Serie A in the late 90s, you know there's a lot of really big legends in those sets. So I'm just going to be focusing on the two biggest ones like we have throughout this video. These cards are not new, but the mania surrounding them is. These cards, the rubies, have shown up for auction over the past few years. I can remember 2 or 3 years ago when Ronaldo's would come to market and they'd sell for a couple $100s, but now they're selling for 4 figures, and that's really different. There wasn't really a big following of these sets on social media. Even when the numbered cards did come to market, people didn't really talk about them. But for some reason, over the past couple months, people have really started paying attention to them, and I don't know why, but people are now all of a sudden really, really liking this set and these numbered cards. So, as I say here, over the past couple of months, sales of these cards have spiked into the 4 figures without correction. Each time one of these has come to auction, and they come to auction in Japan, they've sold for higher than the previous one did. I don't have the sales data with me because I didn't take it down here, but for example, Ronaldo's sold for like $500 or $600 a couple months ago. Now they're selling for north of $1,000. Same with the Zidanes. So that gives you an idea of the sort of price trajectory that we're on. And then most recently, I believe this was last night. This Zidane sold in a PSA slab on eBay for $2,300, which is double the previous sale that it had, around $1,000 in Japan. So these things are on a really big heater right now, and they haven't shown any signs of stopping. But I'm sure at some point they will. It's just a matter of if and when. Not really if. They will correct at some point, but it's just a matter of when do they correct and how high they get to before they do end up correcting. And then for the comparison, that is the Ruby right there on the left-hand side. You can see the red name and the red Merlin Serie A logo, whereas on the base it's a silver name and a silver Serie A logo. The rubies are not refractors. There's nothing special going on with the card except that red lettering. So those sell for $2,300. The raws sell for around $15. Obviously, you shouldn't be comparing the raws in terms of their price to the rubies, but I just wanted to show you what they looked like in visual comparison to each other. Then we'll give a quick bear and bull take on these pre-modern numbered cards in particular. So on the bull side, you'd be saying things like, if people are going to be paying into the four figures for post-career numbered cards, the in-career numbered cards could still have a lot of room to run. These are the only in-career numbered cards for these players. They don't have any other ones. It's not like Ultramodern, where they can continuously print more and more post-career numbered cards. They can't go back in time, and as I knock over a picture frame, they can't go back in time and release more in-career numbered cards because they're playing careers over at this point, and this is all there is. And so from that aspect, they could be pretty rare in comparison to the number of Ultramodern numbered cards that could be out there for these guys. Third point, they could be extremely hard to find since they were released in Japan. We don't know how many survived all these years. These were released in 98 and 99. So how many are still out there and how many will come to market and make their way to the general market, whether that be the United States or Europe? We don't really have any idea. And then, of course, the last point, same as before, you don't have to worry about fakes like with rookie stickers. At least we don't think so. It's harder to fake serial numbered cards. It's not impossible, but it would be a lot harder to do. Then on the bear side for these, you would say things like, these cards are more expensive than they have ever been, and it's very uncommon to see cards go up and up without correction. Up until recently, there was no mainstream following for the set. I get real big 2018 Treble vibes from the previous year, where you have this set that a few people really start taking a liking to, and then it gets a wider mainstream adoption, and the prices start going ballistic. This is kind of what's happening here with the Merlin set, in my opinion. You have a very small niche group of people that were following these and really, really like these, and then all of a sudden a few really big sales push it out to the mainstream, and now everybody wants them. And that gets sort of scary in terms of where the prices go from here, because eventually they all have to land in collectors' hands rather than flippers and pumpers' hands. And so it gets a little messy when things like this happen and prices start to explode. So got to be a little bit careful when things like this happen. The third point would be very little aesthetic difference between the base and numbered variations. I showed you before. The only difference is the lettering that is ruby colored, and there's no like shine or refractor or anything. So if we're playing the aesthetics game, they don't really have the best aesthetics. You're really just depending on that that numbering being what drives the value behind it, not the aesthetic. And then the last point would be that mid-grade rookie versus mid-career numbered cards. Where do these rank in terms of the hierarchy for these players? These mid-career numbered cards from the Merlin set are selling for around the same price as mid-grade rookies for Zidane and Ronaldo at this point. So what sort of importance do you place on the rookie stuff versus a mid-career numbered card? We don't really know. I have no answer for it. It's the math that you're going to have to do in your head and sort of in your heart with what you want to place value in and what you want to collect. But those are the questions I would sort of be asking. And then finally, with the conclusion, as always, collect what you love, but be careful when investing. I'm personally avoiding both the pre-modern numbered and ultra-modern numbered markets right now due to the mania surrounding them. I think the pre-modern cards are too risky for my taste right now because they're at their most expensive point ever and have been getting spotlight on socials. And when that happens and everybody wants to buy something, I usually want to avoid it and wait to see when the correction comes. And then once that happens, if it gets to a price point that I feel more comfortable with and it feels more reasonable and there's not so much panic, I need to buy it right now going on in the market, that's when I'd look to get in on something like that. And then I think for the Ultra Modern cards, they're also too risky at this point for my taste right now because they've just been released and they need to find their market floor. An example of where you can get in trouble on this is on the far right-hand side of the screen, I have this David Beckham Kaboom. This came out in January of 2022 and was selling for around $2,500 because people got really excited that this is David Beckham's first Kaboom card. Kaboom's a really big deal. David Beckham's a big superstar. He doesn't have a lot of Ultra Modern cards. I really need this card right now. And now, a year and a half later, the most recent one sold for $355. So if you just would have waited the year and a half, the card hasn't changed at all. David Beckham's legacy hasn't changed at all. But the price of this card has completely collapsed because there's no more FOMO for it in the market. And I worry that with Ultra Modern cards, with so many sets continuously coming out for all these guys, that this could become the norm for the pre-modern types of legends in those sets, because a lot of what keeps Ultra Modern cards relevant is the players continuing to play well in their career. But when you take away that aspect from the Ultra Modern market, there's not much speculation game to be going on in the longer term for these cards, and that's where it starts to get troublesome, like in this David Beckham example here. Now, however, I will say I have picked up a few of the Topps Chrome, as my phone rings here, I have picked up a few of the Topps Chrome Barcelona Ronaldinho numbered cards for my PC, but they are significantly cheaper than the cards I've mentioned in this video, and they are for PC only. I don't plan on selling them in the future or anything like that. I just really wanted some nice Ronaldinho cards, and the gold parallel really appealed to me, and the blue parallel really appealed to me, so I thought about completing the rainbow, but with the extremely high prices coming in for other guys, I'm starting to get worried that I might not be able to complete it. But for example, I picked up a gold Ronaldinho out of 50 for like $50 or something like that. That's a little different in my opinion than the Ronaldo that was $420 for the Blue Prism, but that's just, I guess, me making my own excuses for myself and my own collecting habits. That's what I'm buying for my PC. Trying not to be a hypocrite, but those are the only Ultra Modern, pre-modern Legend cards I'm looking at right now, and it's all just for PC. Now, getting back on schedule here, I'd be more confident in the pre-modern cards due to their supply and the fact that they're in career versus all the possible post-career variations we could see, but when everyone wants to buy something, it's probably the time to be selling and not buying. So what I'm saying here is, if I had to pick between the numbered cards, I would pick the pre-modern numbered cards versus the ultra-modern numbered cards. I'd be more confident in those, but right now, I'm personally not interested in trying to fight for either of them during this mania phase we seem to be in. I leave this bottom point here. You want to be buying Halloween costumes in April and selling them in October, not the other way around. So I'll leave you guys with that point there. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Discord link is in the description to talk with other collectors, investors, gamblers, degenerates, whatever you want to call it, that participate in this market. And don't forget to leave your Q&A questions for the 1,500 subscriber video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in that Q&A video.